The Dershow.
Adams' case was a little different. There was a legitimate investigation, took a long time. It started during the Biden administration against Mayor Adams, not when he was mayor. It was about what happened when he was city council. He apparently accepted some gratuities from the Turkish government, upgrades in hotels and airlines, in exchange, quid pro quo, for facilitating some fire inspection or not having fire inspection for some consulate building. All right. So he was prosecuted. And then President Trump gets elected and he says, no, I don't want to prosecute the mayor. It's more important to have the mayor work with me on not making New York a sanctuary city and help him cooperate in getting rid of criminals who are not in the country legally. It's a quid pro quo. And what do prosecutors say? Oh my God, a prosecutor involved in a quid pro quo? That's outrageous. I have news for you. No prosecutor's office could operate without quid pro quos. Every single day in every single prosecutor's office in every city in the United States, prosecutors make the following statements to people who are indicted or charged with crime. Here's the deal. You want to cooperate? You want to wear a wire? You want to testify against Mr. Big? Here's the quid pro quo. If you testify, if you cooperate, we'll either drop the criminal prosecution or we'll reduce the charges or we won't go after your nephew or your wife. If that's not a quid pro quo, what is? Prosecutors live and die by quid pro quos. That's what plea bargaining is. It's quid pro quo. You don't challenge, we reduce the sentence. You cooperate, we drop the charges. You wear a wire, we drop the charges. Quid pro quo. There's nothing wrong, or if there is something wrong with the quid pro quo, we ought to make it apply to plea bargaining too. I don't see any constitutional difference. You might say there's a principal difference of policy, but not a constitutional difference between a prosecutor offering somebody to drop the charges if they'll cooperate against somebody else, or a president saying we'll drop the charges, or a prosecutor saying we'll drop the charges if you cooperate in our enforcement policies against illegal aliens. So what Pam Bondi and her Justice Department did was perfectly lawful, perfectly constitutional, regardless of what the New York Times said. So what about my friend and former student, former research assistant, Danielle Sassoon? She was the acting U.S. attorney, and she was told, you have to go into court and have those charges dropped. You have to ask the judge to drop those charges. And Danielle said, no, I can't do that. Our office brought the charges. I'm not going to let Justice Department in Washington tell my office how to conduct its business. It was a legitimate investigation, a legitimate prosecution. No, I'm not going to do that. And they said, if you don't do that, we're going to fire you. And she said, well, you can't fire me. I quit. I resign. Was she right? Yes, she was right too. She's entitled to make a decision that she doesn't not want to cooperate with what she regards as a political quid pro quo. It might be legal, might be even ethical. She doesn't think so, but we can disagree about that. But she's certainly entitled, as anybody is, to make a decision whether to remain on as an acting U.S. attorney or to resign in protest because she doesn't agree with the policies that are being foisted on her. So, bottom line, Trump, Bondi, and Bove, right as a matter of constitutional law. Sassoon, right as a matter of ethics prerogative. So they're both right.